There we go. Awesome. All right. I think we're good now. We're recording. Thanks, Shirley. So excited to see you all and very excited to introduce Shelly Young. She's got a presentation for us. And I request that everybody stay muted while she's presenting unless you want questions along the way. What's your preference, Shelly?
Probably hold them until the end.
Okay, that sounds great. So everybody, please be sure to mute so it's not a distraction for everyone else. And here is Shelly Young. She's the program manager for the Alzheimer's Association North Central Texas chapter, where she has served for 17 years. Ms. Young has a Master of Science in Gerontology from Abilene Christian University and has worked with seniors for 30 years. Much of her employment has been in the senior care industry, including assisted living, nursing facilities, and home care. During this time, she's had the privilege of working with many senior adults and their families as they try to find appropriate services and make the difficult choices that families often face. Ms. Young's mother suffered from Alzheimer's disease for over 10 years. Her mother passed away after living in a nursing facility for 3 years. Ms. Young's father suffered from Lewy body dementia and lived in a care facility for 6 years. So with that, Ms. Young,
All right.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I do not use Teams very often, and so I'm having a hard time getting to my presentation.
You found share, right? The share button at the top. Okay.
Good. It just doesn't seem to like what I am pulling up. So sorry. I jumped on early thinking everything was all set.
If you want to email it to me real quick, I can throw it up there for you. It should be as easy as clicking the share button and then picking the window.
Yeah, I think that's what I was not doing.
Aha, there's a window. Now you just need to switch over to the presentation. You've got it.
All right, so this is what I was looking for. Okay, so does everyone see the QR code?
And we see your Zoom screen.
Well, that is not what I was trying to do.
Oh, it's changing. Oh.
Right. And try it one more time. Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. So sorry, y'all. I thought I was all set to go.
Go for it.
We'll get there hopefully in just a minute. Got lots of people joining.
Yes, yes.
That's wonderful.
We have a great group, absolutely.
Okay, gonna try one more time.
Fingers crossed.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. We're just now getting started. There it is. Way to go.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, but I think you're not seeing the correct view.
We see the Tackling Alzheimer's Together slide and then a little bit of the mission statement slide underneath it, but I think this will work. I can see it fine. Anybody want to speak up if you're having a hard time seeing it?
No, it's good.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be with everyone. I think I know lots of the folks on this call, and I am happy to answer questions as we get toward the end of the program. But I just wanted to start by giving you a little bit of information. I think so many of you folks know about the Alzheimer's Association and the work that we do in communities. But the association has actually been around since 1980. We were formed by a man named Jerome Stone, and he was a caregiver for his wife. She had Alzheimer's. And so he was noticing, this would have been in the 70s when he was starting this journey. He was noticing there wasn't a lot of help out there. And so I love that story in that it really helps to understand that the Alzheimer's Association is really kind of a grassroots effort that, I mean, he built this from just a support group to now an internationally known organization. And so I'm really, really proud of that and the work that he did over many years. So the Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing care and support. And I'd like to start with this because I want to make sure folks understand that the Alzheimer's Association is here to help, and it doesn't really matter to us what the official diagnosis may be. And sadly, in some cases, people never receive a diagnosis, but that does not mean that we're not able to help. So I just always like to make that clear. We are the largest private funder of Alzheimer's research in the United States, and we convene the largest Alzheimer's research conference every year. It's global, and so it's actually coming up at the end of this month, and I can share information with Dana afterwards to share out with folks about, because we have a component. I mean, certainly people can go to it in person, but there is also a virtual platform that you can use to get the highlights of what we call AAIC, which is the Alzheimer's Association International Conference. So I'm going to keep moving through.
Yes, your presentation disappeared.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, now it's reappearing.
So what, I'm not even sure what, do you see the stats?
Well, now we see Zoom again. We saw your background for a minute and then we saw
My
Zoom
goodness, I am not, this is crazy. Okay. Do you see now?
No, there's usually a couple second lag though.
My goodness, this is crazy. Okay, so Dana, I am just going to send this to you because I'm not going to keep
good. Oh, sounds good.
Beating my head against a wall. I want people to get most out of this.
Yes.
So, but I will keep moving through my slides. So what we currently know is that there are over 7 million people in the US who have Alzheimer's. There are over 12 million unpaid caregivers for people living with all different types of dementia. And when I say unpaid, usually that is a spouse or an adult child, but we know that even sometimes church friends or other relatives or neighbors are involved in caregiving as well. Alzheimer's disease kills more people each year than prostate cancer and breast cancer combined. And the current estimate is that Alzheimer's disease will cost the US over $384 billion this year. So we know that it impacts a lot of people. Have you received it yet?
I did. I just received it and I am opening it up now.
Awesome.
Yes. There it is.
Yay. So if we can go to slide 4.
Oops. I'm gonna edit your presentation
Right
now.
ahead.
Not what I meant to do. Okay. So that's 3, 4. There we go.
All right. So I like to share this photograph. This is my mom and dad, also known as Grandma and Papa, Ed and Carolyn. And this photograph is my mom and dad on their 50th wedding anniversary. And they were mom was between 8 and 9 years into her Alzheimer's journey. And I like to share this because you can't automatically see that a person has Alzheimer's. Those changes are occurring at a microscopic level in the brain. And so we don't always know what's happening. But she was well advanced into her Alzheimer's journey. And then my dad, within about a year and a half of this photograph being taken, suffered a traumatic brain injury and then also started to show signs of dementia. And he actually was later diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, but those changes were already occurring in his brain as well, but we just can't see them. So if we can advance. All right, and we'll keep going. Okay, so one of the things that I think will potentially be helpful to you, to those of you, especially on this call, because many of you work in senior services, is we have our 24/7 helpline. This was formed many years ago, and the helpline is answered around the clock to provide care and support and information to individuals who are on this journey. Most of the people who call us are actively caregiving, but we do sometimes receive calls from people who have early stage dementia and they have questions or concerns or need to talk through what's happening. This line is staffed with master's level social workers and counselors, and they provide care consultations. People can also just call this number if they have a question. Maybe they're looking for a home care agency in their area, or they have a question about a doctor or how to choose a doctor. There's so many different things that this number can do for folks. And I like to tell people this is the best tool in your toolbox. It's always good to know that number. In fact, we have magnets that you can put on the refrigerator door so that you can find that anytime. And, I get to go home most days at 5, sometimes a little after. But, when my dad was taking care of my mom at home, he was a caregiver of her at home for 7 years. He could have picked up his phone anytime to call the helpline. She was incontinent at night sometimes. She would sometimes get confused or, have sleep disturbances. And so it's just a wonderful resource. We also have free education that's in person, virtual, and on demand, and we will go just about anywhere to do education. The most interesting place I ever went to do education was to Granbury, and it was the sheriff's posse was hosting a fundraiser for us, and it was a bull riding competition, and they wanted some education, so I went. That was a lot of years ago now. And then here on the right side, you're going to see not only can you access our 24/7 helpline, but you can also access this nationwide database by using Community Resource Finder. We can advance the slides. So I'd like to just highlight a little bit some of the programs that we have. We also have a variety of support groups, and we have one that meets virtually that's for young adults, because we're finding a lot of younger people, either as young professionals, or even we have people who are grandchildren caring for grandparents. So we have a virtual young adult group. We have a virtual group for people whose loved ones still live at home and they may not be able to get out and participate in a traditional in-person support group. And then we have lots of support groups throughout our service area. We actually serve, out of the North Central Texas chapter, we serve 40 counties. We have Spanish language education and also a support group that is virtual. A few months ago, we added a program. It's an activity program for people living with dementia and their care partners, and it's called In the Moment at the Modern. And it's really just fun. There's no requirement. We don't have to assess people to participate, but it's lovely in that the first part of it is a docent-led tour, and then we go to some place there in the museum and we actually craft. And so we've made different things over the months that we've been hosting this program. But it's really a lot of fun, and it's neat to watch how people with dementia can also engage with art and activities. They may not do it at the same level or ability that they might have previously, but we all tend to have a little bit of a creative bent in us and can really benefit from those types of activities. Also, I run an early stage support group in Fort Worth, and I have people actually that come from all over, a couple from Decatur, some from Palo Pinto County, and all over Tarrant County. And this group is for people, they don't necessarily have to be young, but it is for people who are truly in the early stages of their dementia journey. And so I have people who range in age from about 52 all the way up to mid 80s. So if you have someone interested in that, feel free to just give them my contact information, and I am happy to reach out to them. So let's advance. Advance again. So as I mentioned earlier, the Alzheimer's Association hosts the National International Conference, and that's coming up just here at the end of July. Recently, we have launched an ALZnet, which is basically a database that physicians and researchers can share information that is confidential information. So the person who's taking the medication is obviously not identified, but it's helping to track long-term health outcomes with the different medications. We are doing a lot in terms of research, but also reaching out to diverse communities. And then we are really leading the way in terms of treatment. And if we can advance again. Yeah. So most recently, this has been about 3 years ago now, the FDA approved a medication called Leqembi, and then just 2024, I believe, they approved Kisunla. And these medications are different in that the meds that we've had to treat Alzheimer's for over 20 years will help with symptoms. They don't technically slow the actual disease progression, but they can help with symptoms. So think of it this way, if you have arthritis and you take a pain med, it's not actually treating the arthritis itself, but treating the pain. And so that's how the old Alzheimer's meds worked. And so these newer medications are actually able to cross the blood-brain barrier, and they are able to clear out what we know as the plaques that are building up in the Alzheimer's brain. And so some people, not all, but some people who take these medications in the early stages of their progression can see a real benefit from them. And so we're excited. And the thing is, when you have a new medication, it's just the beginning. There are many other medications in the pipeline that can function in a similar fashion, but it seems like each time one is released, it actually seems to show greater promise, greater efficacy, and certainly there are side effects, but there are some fairly stringent requirements for people who can take it, but we're just very excited to see what the future may look like for people who are receiving these types of treatments. And then we also know very recently, just sometime in June, the FDA approved the first blood biomarker test. And so while it is not readily available yet in clinics, and the cost is fairly high, insurance is not covering it, but this is a huge step. It's just a tool in the toolbox for diagnostics, but we hope that it will be something that really helps to move the process of diagnosis along and can give physicians a greater confidence when they're actually giving someone a diagnosis of the Alzheimer's disease. So that's just really exciting information. So let's move one more. Okay, so I'm gonna just touch on this for a minute, and then we'll wrap things up in case there are any questions. But one of the things the Alzheimer's Association is really passionate about is helping people engage in activities that promote brain health. We cannot legitimately say right now that you can prevent Alzheimer's disease, but there is a lot of research that supports healthy lifestyles. And we may even be able, for instance, if you have Alzheimer's in your family, you're higher risk, maybe you could at least delay the onset by lifestyle changes. And if you could delay the onset, I mean, that's the difference in being able to attend a grandchild's wedding or meet that first great grandbaby or go to your daughter's graduation with her doctorate. So, really even delaying the onset is huge, let alone if we could actually prevent it. So, some of the things we know or things you've heard before, so important to control blood pressure, to manage diabetes, to manage weight. But there are other things that can really benefit our brains. One is sleeping well. And what I like to say with all of these is if you're having trouble with any of them, please talk to your doctor. There may be some things that you can do. They're going to help you to be more healthy. And even sleeping well, a lot of people, pretty much everyone experiences sleep disturbances as we get older, if for no other reason, because as we get older, we have to get up and use the bathroom in the night. But there may be some things like even not eating a heavy, fatty meal at night is good to not eat that. So eat more healthy at night so your body's not having to work so hard to digest the heavy, fatty Mexican dinner that I absolutely love. We also know staying in school and challenging our mind is a good thing. And so even something as simple as you don't have to go get your doctorate degree, but even things like taking education classes at TCC. They have a wonderful senior ed program where I think it used to be that you paid $20 a semester, but you got to attend unlimited classes. And so to be in kind of a structured education situation is great. And again, it doesn't have to be a doctorate. Certainly we know the importance of moving, eating right. And I really love that we've even changed the language around this, because in a perfect world, exercise is ideal. Yes, we should all go to a gym or to our garage and walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes, get your heart rate going, do lift some weights. There's good evidence to support the importance of exercise, and I want to encourage that. But not everybody is in a position to even be able to do that, whether physically or their environment doesn't lend itself to that. So get moving. Moving is better than not moving, even if it's slow. Slow go is better than no go. But and to maybe incorporate things like turn music on while you're doing your dishes and working in the house and things like that, just to get yourself moving and dance around some. So those are the things that we know. I'm going to go ahead, if we want to stop sharing, and just open it up to questions. And then I'm happy to share my slides with Dana when the program is over.
Shelly. Yeah. Well, you already sent me your slides, so
Oh, that's true. I did. I did.
I can send those to everyone if they're interested. Oh, Ella, she's got a question. Go ahead.
I do. I've become interested in microplastics in brains, and the research is showing that microplastics are accumulating in brains at higher concentrations than in other organs like the liver and kidneys. And it's been related to dementia also. The study found that brain samples from individuals with dementia had even higher concentrations of microplastics, suggesting a possible link between microplastics and dementia. So personally, I have made a few changes by stopping drinking bottled water. I use tap water instead. I don't use plastic straws. And what else have I done? Oh, I know, kitchen sponges. I use 3M sponges, those yellow ones with the green scrubber on the back side of it. Those have microplastics in them. So I've switched not using those kind of sponges anymore, but instead using cellulose and coconut scrubber on natural. So anyway, I just wondered if you have any information about microplastics.
I don't. I think there are so many environmental factors that may contribute, and that nothing that you said is surprising. I think we're just only really beginning to understand microplastics. And I mean, we obviously see it in the news almost every day. So I think there are so many things. And what I tell people is just to try to be intentional about your self-care. And so, just think about where you're parking, even think about if you're taking the stairs, think about which water bottle you're drinking from. Even we hear some about the Teflon dishes and the pans that we use. And so, I don't think that anybody could right now say 100%, oh, microplastics cause dementia, but there's just a lot of risk factors and things in our environment and in our lifestyle that we can alter. And if that's possible, then we should. So great. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
I have a question if no one else does. When you do your trainings or support groups, how often does financial exploitation and scams come up? And do you do any education related to that?
Not per se. And I don't get a lot of feedback about that, but I know it does. I can't say that it's often. But I suspect there honestly is even more of that happening than people will even share, partly because I think sometimes they're embarrassed by it, or they can't believe that it's happening, and that sister that they thought was on, a straight arrow is actually siphoning money from mom. So, I mean, certainly it happens. Certainly I've talked to people over the years, and it's just sad because it's one of so many factors that families are dealing with.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was curious if it was included in any of the education for the family or the individuals, so that they would know what to do in the event that it happens, since cognitive decline is such a key, I don't know, not a predictor, but a definite common denominator for many.
Yeah, so one of the things, we do have curriculum on managing legal and financial issues, and there is a pamphlet and a resource guide that does have some links and numbers for things like that, and even talks, I believe, at the end about adult protective services. And we do talk about that. It's not automatically like a formal part of support group facilitator training.
Yeah, right. Do you feel like it might be beneficial to make that happen?
Well, I mean, we talked to them about like when and how to call adult protective services, and encourage, like, I mean, our goal, it's truthfully, it seldom happens that there is a need for that, but we do, I mean, it's their obligation. It's all of our obligation to help protect those individuals.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Just wondered if having a spotlight on it might help make it less stigmatized and easier to look for support.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me that that would be an opportunity for Dana to present to families,
Well,
because that's a huge problem that goes undetected a lot of times.
yeah.
And the billions of dollars of seniors that get scammed.
Dana, I'm happy to chat with you offline.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what is Shirley saying? Let's see. It might be easier if you just come off mute, because I just got a little bit of the message.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm off mute. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. The Capital Area AAA is a part of the Guilds grant for the state. We're one of 10 throughout the state. It's an Alzheimer's and dementia grant that we've been doing. We just had our meeting this morning. And so we are working collaboratively with the DSHS, Alzheimer's disease, and utilizing this Alzheimer's grant to increase awareness throughout the entire state.
Cool. Okay.
And we're also on, we're part of that as well, and we have staff that attend to those meetings regularly.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great great grant. Really is.
Nice. Cool. All right. How many years is it?
We're in the first year of the grant. It was just
Oh.
established. We're about ready to wrap. We just did our quarter 3 report, so we're in year 1.
Wow. Okay.
And it's like I said, there was an RFP to apply, and we did, and as well as the other agencies that applied. It's like El Paso Health Department's a part of it, so it's kind of pivotal throughout the state.
Cool. Any other thoughts or questions? Okay.
So, can you hear me?
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I have to get kind of close to the mic. So excellent presentation, Shelly. Good to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you.
So also concur with what Shirley said with the Capital AAA. We're also here at HSC, the Health Science Center at UNC, a recipient of the Guilds. And definitely echo what she said in regards to just bringing about general awareness. I think there's not only just the stigma, but the lack of kind of the best way to say it is latest and greatest of techniques that are being used, like AI, to get people's voices and trick people into thinking that the call is someone it's not. So maybe just kind of to also piggyback off what Dana said, I think there's just that lack of just general awareness. In my attending the summit, I learned a great deal. So I think that would be exceptional for caregivers just to be, abreast of, the updated techniques that scammers are using. And they're getting really, really creative.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think that could help, protect, again, the most vulnerable population that's those that are older adults, but specifically cognitive, decline. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to kind of to add to that, just the importance of just general awareness of how it's happening. you know, so anyway, that's
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of one of our previous presenters, and right now I can't remember which one it was, but the secret password idea of you know, telling everybody to have a secret password so that doesn't catch you off guard. Any other comments? Awesome. Oh, did you have another comment, Elva, or are you still up
No,
from before?
I had another question.
Okay.
Shelly, if I wanted to find out what percentage of the Alzheimer's Association budget is funded by pharma, would that be on your Form 990, or where would I find that information?
You know, I don't know offhand. I know in the past it's been a very, very small percent. But I'll see what I can do to get that information for you.
Okay, thank you. Also, I was hoping to see Holly Taylor on here today. You know, she used to work for you guys.
I know.
On your 24-hour line, and now she's in private practice, so she probably had a client, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, Holly's wonderful. We're actually excited to have her on this other side now, because there really is a need. She's counseling folks who actually have dementia, and there's not many people who do that. And then certainly to family caregivers and others that are, you know, working with individuals with dementia. But she just has a unique expertise, so we're very excited to have her.
Excellent.
Thanks so much. Yes, we appreciate you presenting to us today, Shelly. We will move on since we don't have a whole lot of time left, and I like to keep things moving quickly. Basically, the agenda, the next thing is the retelling of what a great experience the summit was. I was thrilled to have the overall evaluation feedback come so highly, which to me it seems it's just fabulous. 4.9 on overall, you know, 4.9, 4.8, and each of the sessions, the speakers received just as high evaluation. So I felt like it was a huge success. And of course, our sponsors and our exhibitors and our attendees made it a great event. Thanks to the Texas Bar Foundation, Mitchell Senior Services, Tarrant County Bar Foundation, WellMed, and United Way of Tarrant County's AAA. Also included the link to the photos, the recordings, and the handouts again in the agenda in case anybody needed those. I highlighted a couple of Texas legislation that had been signed or passed at the end of the agenda. I don't think our friend Shannon from SOSS is on, but I was following her legislation related to safety standards in senior retirement communities, including background checks and notification of residents about criminal activities. And it protects residents' rights to communicate with law enforcement. And it was signed by the governor a few days ago. Very exciting. Related to long-term care, also training and observation, and then also the solar fraud situation was improved because there's more or registration for retailers, salespersons, and support to protect consumers. I thought I had read that it gave them a 5-day change your mind period. I don't see it in that summary, but anyway, it was, you know, some of the legislation did pass that we were following, so that was good. Committee updates, we didn't meet in July. the professional education group, we're going to talk about workshops for creating multidisciplinary task forces and communities, work on our future monthly speakers and webinars, and start talking about the 2026 summit. So exciting to have one under our belt and have another one that we can look forward to. We had a great World Elder Abuse Awareness Day event. Thank you to everyone, especially Nisa, if you're still on. I know I saw you on there. Yeah, there you are. Did you want to say anything about the rally?
No, just thank you to everyone who supported it. That's all.
Okay,
And
yeah.
next year, hopefully it'll be bigger and
Yeah,
better.
yeah, right. And you had the what's it called? The recognition, at the Commissioner's Court
Oh,
last week?
proclamation. Yes. That was on
Proclamation,
June.
that's the word.
Yes, the proclamation on the 1st of July.
Also very cool, and still working towards a speaker bureau. The What to Do wallet card that we created was handed out at the summit, and that Canva link, if you need to download it yourself and have some printed, you can do that. Collaboration committee finished up the roster. If you still haven't been added to the roster, you can fill out that form, and next round of updates will get you in there. Have a link for the flyer so that you can invite new members, and I do introduction to Texas Elder Justice Coalition if somebody's curious or want to know more about the coalition. For resources and sustainability, there are a couple grants that we're working on or waiting to hear back from. And believe it or not, we are in the last quarter of our 2-year funding from the National Center for State and Tribal Elder Justice Coalitions. So we'll be wrapping up that. And we have our social stats slowly increasing, and our next monthly meeting will be August 13th, and we have Zach, I think, presenting to us. And then, of course, definitely open to other topics or presenters. If anyone has any suggestions, you can send them to me, and we'll discuss it with the Professional Education Committee. Did I see a comment? Anybody have any questions or comments? I ran through that pretty quick. Events that are happening. Okay, Rhonda, oh, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't know if you saw my question. I was just going to ask, where can I see a list of events that are happening through the organizations? I would love to attend and support.
Yeah, do you mean the Texas Elder Justice Coalition events, or you mean like people who are
Like the
involved in the
rally?
coalition's events?
Yeah. Also, like the rally Lisa talked about, and anything else that maybe in the local area, I would love to support each organization if I can.
Okay, yeah. You know, I share it during the meetings, and then I think I had it in the newsletter, but try to do a better job of sharing that or reminding people, or maybe even putting it on the calendar so that everybody knows.
My apologies. When we meet, I'm still at work, so sometimes I can get on, sometimes I can't. So I apologize if you've already.
No, you're fine. That's fine. Yeah, I was just thinking there is a space on the website for events. I haven't been real good at putting those up there, so I hate to direct you there if I haven't been including everything there. But yeah, that was the summit and the rally. At this point, that was pretty much all we had on the calendar. Shirley.
Yes, I was just wondering, Dana, did you present at the Aging in Texas conference? I heard it was really good.
I did present at the Aging in Texas conference, and it was a great crowd, and I feel like the just general feedback that I learned in that session kind of validated some of the what I felt was the case, and it seems like there are a lot of communities that really would like to kind of move forward with the collaboration. And it was really interesting too, because at the conference, so many of the presentations were about collaboration, and it's apparent that a lot of the aging, especially the AAAs, and they do a lot of collaborative work, but this multidisciplinary task force related to elder justice and financial exploitation seems like we could definitely support communities, maybe more education and awareness, and try to move that forward. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I thought it was a great conference too. Gail? Oh, you're muted still.
Sorry. I just wanted to respond to the question about events from local organizations, not specific to TEJC, but for nonprofit events as a whole. There's a page on the Fort Worth Reports website where nonprofits can post local events. And if you have an event for your organization that you want to post to get the word out more, you can create credentials and then you can post your events through that page. And then when people search for events, they can find that.
Wow.
And I'll put the link to that in the chat. I
Awesome.
learned about that through a philanthropy group that I'm a part of because I
Great.
wear multiple hats.
Right, for sure. Yeah, no, that's great. I didn't realize they did that, I don't think. That's cool. Awesome. And Ella. Oh, sorry. Are you finished, Gail? Okay. Yes, Ella.
So just two things from yesterday's A&E meeting that you and I were at, the abuse, neglect, and exploitation group that met in Grand Prairie at the police department. I learned there, and I've learned this in the past, but I'd forgotten that social workers are not allowed to receive funds for referring clients to any kind of resource. That's against social workers' ethics. So social workers know that, but I had forgotten that. The other thing was this little card that they gave out about boarding homes, and they, it's got a definition of boarding homes and what to observe, observations to report, what you should report. And they said their main referrals come from these little cards that EMTs and ambulance drivers usually put in their visor or someplace handy so they can remember if the EMT or, first responder goes into a home and notices something that's out of kilter that needs to be investigated. This little card, this was from Harris County though. So that's Houston, and it was the fire marshal's office that was the presenter yesterday. But I thought these cards were really good and helpful. A lot of information crammed onto this little card. And I know you designed a card for us to use also, but
Yeah.
this one was specific to boarding homes.
Yeah.
They said they have 120 permitted boarding homes in Houston, and they know that the real number is at least 4 times that many. So they said, if you think you don't have them, you're deluding yourself because they're in your community, but they're hard to identify.
Yes. Yeah.
If nobody reports.
Definitely. That was an eye-opening presentation. I saw Nick made a comment. Did you have something to say, Nick?
I was just,
Nicholas?
hello, can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, I was just saying I can comment on that. So that's going to be a department specific tool or resource, and also implementation of. So again, that's going to happen at the local level, and ultimately it'll probably go through a fire chief or battalion chief and then down to the captain or the officer in charge, and then they would approve or not approve for them to give those resources. So it just not so much of an easy blanket approach as it may seem to be. So, but that would be the process. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you. Right, right. Yeah, it's been a few years in the making too, for sure, based on his explanation of the task force that they created and working together closely. They have an APS person who's there in their office 1 day a week and is like on call 24/7. So there's several. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight for sure. Miss Gail?
I thought I took my hand down. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries. That's okay. So I ran through the agenda as quickly as I could. I don't know, like I said, does anybody have any questions or comments on any of those topics that I shared? We do have the Adult Protective Services Conference. Detective Prater and I are going to do a presentation in October. And I guess we kind of already had new business and announcements. Any other thoughts, questions? Don't want to keep you on for no reason. No? Okay. I appreciate you guys. Send me an email if you have any thoughts or questions, ideas. And our next meeting is August 13th. So hopefully I'll see you all then. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Bye-bye.